everybody, welcome back to our beginner's guide to serging. In this episode, we're going to learn how to do a flat lock on our serger. A flat lock is created by serging two edges together and pulling it flat. Essentially, your raw edges are butted up end to end or slightly overlapping instead of right sides together like a normal seam. This is very common in activewear. However, on a home serger, you're getting more of a faux flat lock because an industrial flat lock has an overlock seam on both sides, not just on one side and a ladder stitch on the other. We won't dive into an industrial flat lock, we're just going to stick to our home sergers. Flat locks can be 3-thread or 2-thread if your machine comes with a spreader/converter. A flat lock is also great for creating blind hems on your serger. The trick to a flat lock is to have absolutely no tension in your needle. So you just completely take it out of the threading discs and let it chill on top. Set the rest of your settings to what you would normally use for a 3-thread overlock. You can use your right or left needle, just remember you don't want any needle tension. The stitch length can be between 2 and 4. My manual says that my upper looper needs to be a 5 and my lower looper at a 6, and this is just the starting point. You may find that you create the best stitch when you max out both your loopers, but we'll get to that later. So when you feed your fabric, a little trick I like to do is focus on my loopers forming just barely off the edge of the fabric. It's a little tricky and you have to serge slowly, but I feel I get a flatter finish, especially when I'm flat locking on a folded edge like I am now. You can do a flat lock on a fold or on a cut edge. I'll show you both. And now you just pull the seam open. And you see how the loops form on the front and just a ladder stitch on the back. Here's another example with two raw edges. Here's the front, and on the back you can see it overlaps. If you see a fold, that's okay too. It still creates a nice strong edge. Something I've also found very helpful with flat locking is using a blind hem foot, even if you're not doing a blind hem, because as you can see, it's much more narrow, so I get a better visual when I'm serging. This is a simple snap-on. I'll try not to get my hands in the way too much. You just release the general purpose foot and install the blind hem foot. Guide the fabric under the front of the foot and start serging. Now I can see more of that inside edge. This foot is also compatible with your 2-thread converter. Install your converter just like we did with the rolled hem in our last video. And start serging. You can also use the guide part to give you a little bit more control. Just slide it along the guide. Excuse my hands, I know they're in the way. And start serging. 2-thread overlocks are great for decorative flat locking, and they reduce how much thread you use. To do a blind hem with your blind hem foot, place your fabric under the toe of the foot with the wrong side facing up. Then you fold the fabric onto the guide and back out again. I know this is kind of hard to see with my hands in the way, but you can see here I've created a folded edge that will be thread through the machine. Here's a little illustration so you can kind of see what I mean. And you just let the foot do the work for you. Now pull the seam flat, and you've got a blind hem with a finished edge. This is great for knit fabric as well because the flat lock will stretch. So I hope that this was helpful. If you have any comments or questions, be sure to leave them in the comment section below. If you want to hang out with our sewing community, visit us online at sewingpartsonline.com, on Facebook at facebook.com/sewingpartsonline, Twitter at sewingparts, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, we're everywhere, and be sure to subscribe by clicking that button below for next week's sewing video.